As you may know or not know, we're a brand new agency, so we're still very much in the process of introducing ourselves to everyone and explaining what we do. So today we want to go through a little bit of that, so you're familiar with our agency, talk a bit about some of the services that we provide and a little bit of how we might be able to assist you going through the grant process. So, we are really brand new. We only started public operations in the 1st of January this year. We took over all the public reporting of crime statistics from Victoria Police. So we're a business unit in the Department of Justice, but we've got that separation from VicPol, but we've got a good working relationship and we've got a wealth of data that's come across to our agency. We've got some legislation that supports what we do, but fundamentally we're set up as an information service. So I really encourage you to think of us that way. We are here to help you with what you need to do. Our main functions are publishing and releasing crime statistics, and we also do a certain amount of research ourselves, but we're really keen to support everyone else in their research activities as well. So why we've been set up, you may be aware that there's been a long-standing controversy in Victoria around crime stats. So part of what we're trying to do is restore some of that public confidence. So what the data that we produce is what's considered the official statistics. It's the reliable benchmark that you can use. We're developing a different suite of statistical products. We're trying to make sure that information is accessible and that we can provide everyone with what they require. We're also trying to, as I say, undertake some research and build some of the evidence base so there is more to refer to and more that you can look at that's Victoria specific. We're also trying to help people out with understanding stats and how they can use it. Often it can be a bit of a foreign concept or something people are very hesitant about. They think, oh, I didn't like maths at school, I don't know what to do. We're more than happy to help you out about how the information might be useful to you and what might be relevant. So as I say, we're brand new, we're still establishing ourselves, but we have had our website online from the start of the year, and there's already quite a bit on there that might be relevant to you, and we'll talk a bit more about some of these things so you get a feel for them. Probably most relevant to you at a really high level is our interactive crime data tool, which often goes into at least LGA level breakdowns of offence, which can give you a feel for what the issues might be at a high level. On the website, we've also got a lot of explanatory information. So if you're not quite sure what certain definitions are, what certain offence categories contain, all of that's on there. So we'll talk you through it. We also have our future release calendar up there, so it's really transparent about when our data will be released and when you can expect it. So that can be useful when you're thinking about planning for grants and applications as well. There's a bit of information up there about the agency, and we have had our first statistical release come out on the 19th of March, and we've got our next one coming up just later this month. So, as I say, we're really hoping that we can be as transparent as possible with what we do with our data so that you know what to expect. We have 4 quarterly reports that will be coming out, so again, looking for when those releases are might be useful for when you're preparing things. So we've got our December quarter figures that come out in March, our March quarter figures in June. The next one will be on the 18th of this month. We've got our financial year annual figures that get released around October, and our September quarter figures come out in December. So we're always 3 months in arrears with our data, and that's something to keep in mind. If you call us looking for official stats about what happened last week, we're not going to be able to help you yet. We've got a little bit of work that we have to do before they can come out. So that's the one thing to keep in mind.
Our primary role is to release these quarterly crime stats, but we also have a customised data request program where if people call in and want specific data that we don't produce on a quarterly basis, we provide them with sort of customised data that they can use for whatever decision making they need. So my job today is to show you where to find the data on the website, and then Fiona will talk a little bit about the customised data request process. So this is the front page of our website. When you come onto here, you'll be able to see basically all the state level data, a little bit of information about what's recently been released and what is coming out as well. So you can get a bit of an idea about the dates and time frames and things like that, depending on what you're trying to do. The best place to go for information at the local area level very quickly is the crime by location up in the top left there. This is a dashboard that we've created which allows people to kind of go in and sort of muck around with the data, have a look interactively and see what the crime rates are looking like across different local government areas. So the first one is literally the map of Victoria with the crime rate across it by LGA. The left-hand column allows you to choose the different offence types that you're interested in. So if you're only interested in looking at public order offences, you can tick those. It will re-render and give you the crime rates for just those offences, or drug offences. If that's something you're interested in, you can do that as well. Or otherwise, you can look at the total crime rate. It allows you to drill in and out, hover over it, gives you a whole bunch of other information. You'll see at the top left-hand corner there's a couple of tabs, and each of the tabs has some extra information. The second page is the dashboard. So this is based around the top right-hand corner. You can select your local government area, and this gives you a very quick, brief summary of the stats for that local government area. So on the left-hand side, we've got the offence rates over time, looking at how that's changed. The one on the right hand will give you the top 5 offence subdivisions in your area, and hovering over that will show you the number of offences for each of those categories. Then you can have a look at the overall offence rates. You obviously see that property and deception offence is quite big. It's quite a large bulk of the stats that we collect. And then on the right hand side, this gives you the detailed information. So you can actually expand that out and have a bit of a better look at what's actually happening underneath each of those broader categories. So specifically around drug offences, if you're more interested in drug possession and use or drug trafficking and dealing for your local government area, this will give you the information that you need. So hopefully most of the information that you're looking at in terms of those high level trends, you'll be able to find through here. But as I mentioned, we also can do some custom cuts of the data as well. We also have the postcode breakdown. This is sort of at the very high level at the moment. There are plans to expand this down the track, but at this stage we've got just the high-level aggregates by the postcodes, looking at the change over time in the offence count. So if it's a specific area within the local government area that you're looking at, particularly around the postcode, you'll be able to get some high-level figures. And again, we can actually break this down a little bit further if that's something you require.
So beyond our regular releases, however, and what we've got in the tool, we do have the ability to do a lot more with the data. What we release publicly is a small subset. It's what can be very easily understood, and it's at a reasonably high level because we're just trying to show what's going on for trends in Victoria. However, if you have very specific things you want to look at, very specific offences, very specific groups of offenders you might be looking to look at, very specific hotspots of victimisation, very specific spatial trends. If you're really interested in what's happening around your train station or in your CBD or along a particular mall or a strip of shops, we can sometimes help out with that. By all means, get in touch with us and we can work with you about what we can do and what might be best. The one thing I would put on it, and it is a bit of an issue with going down to the really small level with some of the data we get from VicPol. Location isn't always great in terms of quality, but we can talk you through whether or not that's an issue for what you're trying to do. Easiest if you talk to us, because it might be a simple question, it might be a challenging question, but we can work through it with you. As I say, we also do our own research and evaluation. We can do some of those things sometimes for a consultancy service as well. And we can also support other people in doing their research. If you just want to talk to us about how to approach something, you're thinking about doing a project, the stakeholders are interested, it's looking like it might work, we're more than happy to just provide some advice about how you might want to look at the information around that, how you might want to approach some evaluation. It's all just about feasibility for us. We're an information service. If we can do it, we will. But if you have a chat to us, we can talk you through all those potential pitfalls that you might run into, what's most reliable, what can really help you out with what you're trying to do. But I would say if you come to us as early as you can in your process, that's great. We are a really small group. It's a handful of people in the agency, and we have peaks and troughs like everybody does. If we get 20 councils calling us the day before grants are due, we may not be able to help you out. So please call us early. We can help shape up what you're doing, and it means that we can help you out with data as opposed to having to say, we're not sure we can meet that time frame. So please ask early. And the one thing I wanted to highlight, and I know it's already been talked about in a number of the presentations, but just around the evaluation, we are happy to come and provide advice, have a chat to you, and I really would encourage you to think about the evaluation and the information you're going to need for that from day one. Some of it may be the same as the information you need for your application in the first place, which is great because if you could get it for that, you can probably get it again to see if it's worked. There may be some other more complex information that you need or more specific information, and that could even be from surveys or multiple sources. but the number of times I see people try and do evaluations at the end and the data they need isn't there, best to just chat to us at the start. And even if it's not data we specifically hold, we're happy to help you out with some advice. That baseline data is really crucial in showing the effectiveness of what you do, and you can have the most effective program in the world, but if you can't prove that it works, you're not going to get that compelling argument for continuing what you're doing or next stage or rolling it out further. So it's really important to be able to make sure that you can continue that from an information point of view. So the other thing I wanted to clarify, and I think it came out in the presentation we just followed a little bit, is who to talk for what, because this is now a bit of a shared space between us and Victoria Police. So just to make it super clear, if you want to know qualitative information about what's going on with crime in your area, what's being seen operationally, what is causing the call-outs, what those more look and feel kind of trends are, absolutely go and talk to Victoria Police. They are the people on the ground, they know what they're responding to, and they'll be able to give you a lot more context than we can see just in ones and zeros that come across from the system. Definitely all the supporting statement process has to come through Victoria Police, and if you're interested in information about a very specific incident or very specific people, we can't help you out with that. We deal with aggregate statistics, it's things at a higher level. So definitely go to Victoria Police for all that information. What we do the official recorded crime stats. It is aggregated, it's high level, it's confidentialised. So you're going to get a picture of what's happening, you won't get things about individuals. So we can give you counts of offences, we can look at incidents that occur, we can look at victims, we can look at offenders, and we can also look at family incident call-outs. That's what we have in our systems, they're the stats that we can provide. Everything else, definitely call on your local people or through corporate statistics down at VicPol. So hopefully that helps a little bit, but if you're ever in doubt, just drop us a line and we'll let you know if we don't have what you need. So it's www.crimestatistics.vic.gov.au. We've also got a Twitter that we use to promote some of our work, so if that's something you're into, you can follow us there. And if you want to get in touch, the best way is through our generic information account. So it's info@crimestatistics.vic.gov.au. And that way someone from the team will call you back and we can take the time to talk you through.